Hello, everyone. I didn't. I don't know why. I thought it was a little bit later, so I got onto the computer. It's like, what's the chat going on for? Ah, Jesus! It started at 4:30. All right, let's get this sorted out. All right, I've got to change. I'll turn my camera off. Okay, it's all done. You get a chance to look at it. Syamas, Syamas. Make sure I got the right bike before I do this late start. Hey, Phil. How you going, Ruben? I'm guessing you're almost out of hospital. Just say an hour, a few minutes ago. So, hate waiting around to be discharged from hospital. Let's see.
On the fucking grind, niggas try to limit niggas fucking shine. I ain't playing no games, man. 100 this. Yeah,
Don't want to join me, but yeah, see what buck I've got. Probably not. I saw it for a second. There it is. S5. Back to some nice wheels. Something a bit different. Let's run the Dura races. They look nice. At least I think they look nice anyway. I'll pedal a little bit before I join. I'm trying to work out Discord. So, just see if I can get. Hey, Paul. Welcome to this stream that's not a race. I'm trying to get Discord set up in my stream. Not that I think anyone's on Discord. I haven't opened it up yet. First thing to do is set up so Discord's in my chat. Bluetooth. Powerbeats Connect. How long they're going to last? I haven't fully charged them at 40%. So system settings. Not a race, Paul. Just a cruise. I just want to check. Things. So I get some. I did the Uber pretzel yesterday, so definitely not doing a race today. That kind of stuff. Can't I get? If I turn headphones on and off. Last name's not Raynham. About half an hour to join. I've got to make sure I don't miss that late start. Yeah, Ruben, that. When did you crash? Was it just literally at the beginning of the race? You said there was 100 guys, so sucks. Can't find. Go to settings.
Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived.
Put on smart TV at least so you got some music.
I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot.
Joining the last little round.
Down, see them buckle. 2 shots, that's a double. That's just like a
Oh, the little ramp that goes up the Oasis? Yeah, I'll wait till after that. Can't, yeah.
Losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things. Happy, mad, sad, mood swings.
This is why I'm doing this now, because I'm going to try and do this during ZRL. One for the TTs.
I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
Music device. Alright, I'll join the race so you've got something to look at. There's my mates. Shooting off the front.
I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies.
Getting dropped off the back.
Don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. Tennessee got a nigga feeling busy. Logic is slipping away from me quickly. I barely recognize who came.
Typical for streaming. Literally had the power beats going 30 minutes ago. Restarted the computer. I'm not working. Restart the computer.
I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived.
Not a race, is it? So I don't get good super tuck.
I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them
I'll count the power beats at the moment.
It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck a rumble. Man,
How's the microphone? Right.
that's a double. That's just like I've been in struggle. Losing niggas really numbs you. I done lost about a couple. That's why I stay away from trouble. That's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends.
Hey Marco,
I feel
Ian,
like it's like a damn
we're trying to get Discord up and running, but my
happy, mad, sad.
headphones aren't playing ball.
We just a numb the pain. Plotting on money that I'm again. So many thoughts
Connecting
going
for
on
some
my
reason.
brain. Welcome to my life, so let me explain. I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, been 100 days. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
At least. set up my stats again. Only a few drop frames. Back to green. Any word on the bike, Ruben, or have you seen it yet? Change my setting.
Slipping away from me quickly. I barely recognize who came in with me. Niggas change up on you, it's so silly. Play the blame game, my nigga, you feel me? Take your change, your 20s and 50s. My city is grimy in case you ain't with me. Come from the Bronx, I got problems, yeah, plenty. PTSD, it ain't recognized. Gotta be waiting in public size. I'm not trying to strike a chord across the divide. I'm just speaking facts, man, I cannot lie. Niggas only care when a nigga die. That's the only time when a nigga cries. Every time a nigga's on the fucking grind. Niggas try to dim and niggas fucking shine. I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree.
Drop frames changed a little bit.
So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood or the sticky.
Drop it a bit more.
I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck a rumble. Man down, see them buckle. 2 shots, that's a double. That's just life up in the struggle. Losing niggas really numbs you. I done lost about a couple. That's why I stay away from trouble. That's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things. Happy, mad, sad, mood swings. Smoking on weed just to numb the pain.
Oh, we got that. I thought we were doing a different course. Makes it a bit more interesting.
So let me explain. I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood.
Also got the app in it, does it? I've had enough of the app for a little while. Oh, you're in the. So you're in it, Paul. Yeah, last I saw there was Mike. I think Mike was signed up for B, 2 others for C. Check.
I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree.
Jonas and Mike, I think, have gone to the C. Paul's in this race. This. Yeah. Slipping away from me quickly. I barely recognize who came in with me. Niggas change up on you, it's so silly. Play the blame game, my nigga, you feel me? There's a lot of drop frames.
My city is
quality's probably not as good.
come from the
Better than dropping out completely.
public's eyes. I'm not trying to strike a chord across the divide. I'm just speaking facts, man. I cannot lie. Niggas only care when a nigga die. That's the only time when a nigga cries. Every time a nigga's on the fucking grind. Niggas try to give a nigga fucking shot. I ain't playing no games, man. 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit. I can't agree.
So your backpedal ride, you join it, Paul.
So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man. Don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them back.
So Craig's gone less than a kilometre. Mike Jonas, Hills riding, still reckless. Phil, not our Phil, not our Phil's. It's Phil Rich, not Phil Lovett. I think Mike and Jonas are in the other. Katie, that's right. Katie was waiting to be signed up for this. But she rage quit already. I think I've got her on my friend. Follow. Can you see both groups? I don't think you can. Oh, wasn't visible. I didn't check, that's what I saw. Chat, Discord. You're doing the National Hill Climb Championship, aren't you, Paul? You're not? Why not? I didn't see it. I started late, so saw she was on the start list. I haven't seen her name on my phone. Yeah, she might just do what I do and just sign up and not actually do the rides.
I ain't playing no games, man. 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit. I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies.
How's a bloody fast time you did, Ian, in your 5k ride? I don't run 5k's, but little I know. 17 minutes. Ridiculous. I think people are proud when they get 18. David saying you built up a really light bike for pretty relatively cheap. That's a good thing about aero nowadays is people are selling their good light stuff, straight into aero stuff. 10 speed. I've got an old 10 speed Duros cruise set. Pretty light. That goes cheap. You got rim brake wheels. You can buy knackered rim brake wheels because you don't need the brakes. Brake track doesn't make a difference, I suppose. I done lost about a couple, that's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. Off the front of it.
Understand things, happy, mad, sad, mood swings. Smoking on weed just to numb the pain. Plotting on money down.
I think for next year, I'm going to tell her what to do. But considering how popular it is in the community, I reckon you can get a pretty light build for very cheap.
I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games when I
There's a fence.
yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
You're riding Paul. Saw your name somewhere up the top. You got the good stuff. Oh, Kelvin. I think Kelvin was talking during this race. Let's ride. Let's go. Whoa, whoa. So we got a few more of those. Wrong way. What have you been eating? These guys are riding faster. A screenshot that freaked people out on Strava. Shouldn't put that on shorts. Front of
I barely recognize who came in with me. Niggas change up on you, it's so safe. Playing game, my nigga, you feel me? Take your change, your 20s and 50s. My city is grimy in case you ain't with me. Come from the Bronx, I got problems.
Yeah, the descents you guys have definitely need good brakes.
I'm just speaking facts, man, I cannot lie. Niggas only care when a nigga die. That's the only time when a nigga cries. Every time a nigga's on the fucking grind. Niggas try to them and niggas
Those little
shine. I ain't playing no
30% dips. Tractors dropping gravel and dirt on the road on the corners.
I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably.
Potholes.
Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth.
Watching Phil's videos of those mountain goat tracks you guys climb. I always wonder what the hell it'd be like to descend on that in a race. Guessing they don't race them, they just neutralise those descents. Otherwise there'd be a lot of accidents.
So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't.
Trying to encourage Whitney to have a little ride during the stream. Just so I've got something to talk to.
I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
I'm guessing we go back to Fuego Flats. It's not left here, turn here, I'll be, legs won't be happy. Good. Doing Uber Pretzel solo under 4 hours was so hard. Probably could have taken the last climb up the Alp easier. I had 3 minutes in hand just about. There's a lot of power difference, I suppose. But I did a U-turn before the start, which was, I realised was a mistake because it stopped showing my course time. So Just had to remember what time it was when I was at Starfish. And I was pretty much right, but I didn't want to get to the top, think that I'd done under 4 hours, and then work out that I was 10 seconds off. Last from turn 7 onwards, pretty much my max. Even I didn't increase what. I could feel the not the hunger bonk, but basically what they call it. You feel your energy starting to sap away. Longer after that before I did. That's what it is. Hunger, knock. Energy, knock. Should do this.
So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck a rumble. Man down, see them buckle. 2 shots, that's a double. That's just life, I've been the struggle.
Frames has gone down.
I don't know.
I'm just sitting one more time.
That's why I stay away from trouble. That's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things. Happy, mad, sad, mood swings. Smoking on weed just to numb the pain. Plotting on money that I'm a game.
It's interesting. I think they bug it up. Something for our connection. They used to be able to run a lot higher bit rate without frames. Ever since they had that issue this week. They're going like Australia's extremely expensive NBN. Mark, where's the rest of them? What's happened, Mark? Oh, you got dropped, Mark. Come on. You're doing enough watts, you'll get back on. Jonas might.
I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Y'all niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now.
Jonas is dropping back for you. Jonas. So, chance to use my drafting power up. Gotta be waiting on public size. I'm not trying to strike a chord across the divide. I'm just speaking facts, man. I cannot lie. Niggas only care when a nigga die. That's the only time when a nigga cries. Let's not do that again. On the fucking grind, niggas try to them and niggas fucking shine. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Y'all niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man. Don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood or the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Y'all niggas don't fuck shit, I
So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck a rumble. Man down, see them buckle. 2 shots, that's a double. That's just life up in the struggle. Losing niggas really numbs you. I done lost about a couple. That's why I stay away from trouble. That's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things. Happy, mad, sad, mood swings. Smoking on weed just to numb the pain. Plotting on money that I'ma gain. So many thoughts going off in my brain. Welcome to my life, so let me explain. I ain't playing no games.
Get the jersey.
Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life.
I'm not contested at such. It's a pretty null and void jersey, I think.
I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
It's the World Championships on. Keeping up with the world of that. Looks like it. Give me something to watch tonight. Check.
I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. Hennessy got a nigga feeling dizzy. Logic is slipping away from me quickly. I barely recognize who came in with me. Niggas change up.
Yeah, men's elite tonight.
Lame game, my nigga, you feel me? Take your change.
Under 23s tomorrow. Men's elite tomorrow. Roads next Sunday. You got back on? Did you get Mike back on as well? Good work. Just put it in split screen. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. It's hard, man, in the jungle. Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck a rumble. Man down, see them buckle. That's work.
2 shots, that's a double. That's just life up in the struggle. Losing niggas really numbs you. I done lost about a couple. That's why I stay away from trouble.
You didn't know I was onto that call, so you're one step ahead of me. I wasn't even thinking about World Champs.
So let me explain. I ain't playing no games, man, 100 thieves. Young niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn
Thinking about my World Champs.
I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking them backwood at a sticky. Hop in the booth now.
Yeah, when I was watching Mike, he was putting down the watch to get. But having your wheel would certainly help. Is there anyone actually in this ride who needs the 100-kilometer jersey? Try these. Yeah. I might like the battery will be flat now. While I'm wearing them until I compare them. Oh, Mike hasn't got it? Okay. At least someone's gonna get it.
All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood of the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood of the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. Tennessee got a nigga feeling dizzy. Logic is slipping away from me quickly. I barely recognize who came in with me. Niggas change up on you, it's so silly. Play the playing game, my nigga, you feel me? Take your change, your 20s and 50s. My city is grimy in case you ain't ready.
Can you check your devices to make sure these aren't
Gotta be white in the public size. I'm not trying to strike a quote unquote divide. I'm just speaking facts, man, I cannot lie. Niggas only
with these headphones, so maybe competing up with her device. Oh, I can't get it.
I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood of the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy. I ain't playing no games in 100 days. Yeah, niggas don't fuck shit, I can't agree. All of my life I have been deceived. So some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking
You just use the regular corded headphones. I'm gonna rip.
Niggas take it if they want to. Headshot, fuck with rumble. Man down, see them buckle. 2 shots, that's a double. That's just life, I've been a struggle. Losing niggas really
Okay.
numbs you. I don't know stuff about a couple, that's why I stay away from
Yeah, it's working today. Earlier, just not working now.
It's a pretty team. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things.
Gonna try restarting.
Smoking on
That's alright. I could try later on. Yeah. Say hello to the chat. They're gonna be shy.
Some of my brothers turn enemies. I'm just speaking the truth, man, don't come for me. I can still live my life comfortably. Smoking a backwood of the sticky. Hop in the booth now and get busy.
Four says hello. Got off again. My imagination is really backed up. Jeez. I find with these events, once you get to about 50 kilometers, a lot of rides disappear. Often to other things. They should really settle down. People will blow up. My heart rate's 130, which is very low. Like Ian. 211 beats per minute, thank you very much. I'm not trying to strike a quote unquote divide. I'm just speaking facts, man, I cannot lie. Niggas only care when a nigga dies. That's the only time when a nigga cries. Every time a nigga's on the fucking I think one of my fans. So I got two fans for this sort of interesting music, is it? Should I turn it down? One fan here and one fan here. I find the best. I've had a fan down below, cool the legs. I think this is interesting. She means this crap.
That's why I stay away from trouble. Been losing friends since a preteen. I feel life is like a damn dream. I don't really understand things. Happy, mad, sad, mood swings. Smoking on weed just to numb the pain.
What have I got going? I just pressed the first one I saw when I turned it set up. Go to this way. Good or bad lyrics. There shouldn't be much swearing on them. Like, not that it matters. Got it for set for no kids anyway. Do you see everyone's trying to get their 6 watts per kilo for 5 minutes for? Everyone. Get my next challenge, I think. So I've had a bit of a rest. Not sure what I'll do tomorrow, Tuesday. Is it? Lucky I changed. Apparently it's a thing now, Paul. You aren't somebody unless you've got 6 per kilo for 5 minutes. Yeah. Him and Nick. Nick got 5.94 yesterday. Those two don't really have any end goals, do you? I don't think. A bit like me, really. I'm just doing this for fun. Well, yeah. Apparently there's lots of N-word though, Whitney, so it's not really my style. Here in Essendon, we don't really have that sort of culture. Too many homies running around here. Just lots of footy book feds. Whitney and I live literally 150 metres or so from the Essendon Football Club. Which you guys don't know, but it's like living near Arsenal or something. I don't really know soccer that well, but football as you'd call it. But Australian rules football team with a lot of history. I think David Raynham's targets are always suffering. He's improved a lot for his punch efforts. It's amazing how much specificity can work for the 2 or 3 weeks. You obviously hit a plateau pretty quickly, but just do it for 2 weeks and it gives you a good kick. I was watching when you and David were doing the Fox Hill event. Whitney goes from Melbourne, so Melbourne's into the grand final this year. Whitney keeps claiming she's a big fan, but she wouldn't know. Who's the captain, Whitney? The football team. Yeah, Paul, I was watching you guys on the follow cam. I saw David was smashing it up, mate, twice. Then he bloody got dropped on the crest of that second little kicker. Haha, that's not a captain's name, is it? You can't Google it. Or Bing it, or ask Siri. Yes, I laughed so much when David got dropped after doing all the hard work. Just let that little gap go. And then he struggled and struggled and struggled. But again, we're all in that position. As soon as that gap goes to a couple of riders on the descent, you ain't getting that back. Okay, well, this is an easy one. Whitney wins the grand final. Lots of beard. I think that's like 90% of milk. Sure, it's really eased off, hasn't it, Paul? Look at the graph. Yeah. I don't know what's that? 252. Yeah, it's dropped off a lot. How many have we got left? Still a few. I really hope Zwift, with the amount of riders you can see, depending on your equipment. It'd be great entering an event with 5,000 riders, being able to see the line of riders all the way back to the bridge, like a real event. But a more interesting a little bit later this month. At least you didn't say I was this year with me. Yeah, exactly, Paul. Like, yeah, David does a lot of threshold, sweet spot, threshold work. I do a lot of upper zone 2 races. So I've been trying to do some threshold and sweet spot work recently. Mike's back again, is he? Get back to think what I'm doing. Yeah, it's still in there. The back. Hey Mick, how you going? We've got two. We've got me and Paul in this B race. Yeah, you can see my difference. My out climb. Obviously, that 20-minute effort wasn't to the top. I was holding those watts a bit more comfortably. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Arabic doesn't draw everyone, so if you've got someone you're following, it's like they are. Unfortunately for me, Paul, I've got to do a little bit more sweet spot and threshold work to that improvement to kick in compared to short VO2 and anaerobic. Jeff, do you want to show everyone? Well, I've got my glasses on. So Whitney's proudly, because she can't remember the captain's name, she's decided to show me. What around? Well, you're holding it too far. So she's got a scarf here. It's not very well worn. You worn it once? To the game. There we go. She'll probably bring me out of looking up stuff soon. Yeah, I know you do. I'll make you wear it on the stream and you can't take it off. You guys are, how many kilometers you done? 37.4. Pretty much, Paul. I don't really have no outdoor events at the moment. Australia is still Victoria, New South Wales. We're in lockdown. We're sort of coming out of it as our vaccination rates go up. We're getting close to 70%. I think we've hit 70% for a single dose in New South Wales and Victoria very shortly. And then, so none of the events are on. I won't be on for a while. I've only just been allowed to leave a 10-kilometre radius that I can ride my bike around outdoors if I wanted to. What I found, having this extra power, means riding outdoors around my area is kind of frustrating because I can't, like this. I actually like just doing these steady efforts. Whereas if I ride out most of them, got a lot of traffic lights, give way signs, idiots stepping on the road. So you're very rarely able to keep a constant effort for more than 30 or 40 seconds. I do go to Brunswick Velodrome every year when before our lockdowns happened. So I might go and roll around the velodrome one day. I think I've pretty much resigned this bike now to the trainer. Ah, there he is, David. How's that 6 watts per kilo going, David? Got it? I'll meet you in the chat otherwise. What is it, 5.97? 5.99. So what I will do, Paul, is I'm going to get into TTs. That's my next venture. Get myself a second-hand frame set because I've got most of the gear to put up a frame set. I just need the bars, the shifters. Got a set of Dura-Race tubulars, C50s. C50s, the full carbon, not the ones with the alloy brake track. So I can fit them, do some TTs. If I get a flat, doesn't matter. Get in the car and go home. The old 10-speed hubs. Well, I've got 10-speed grips that chuck on the TT bike. And then just got to get some tubulars, really. Yeah, 6 for 6 now. Yeah, I'll just do whatever club events I've got around here when they open up again. Maybe just go and do some 20-minute efforts. So I got the bike set up, just put it in the car and drive out to a highway somewhere. A lot of the TTs around here are a few hill climbing TTs. Then the championships, like there's a few up in the Alps which are more hill climbing TTs. Not hill climbs, but they're just hilly routes. And the national championships are in a town close by here. I think that's about a 48-minute effort. The one that Rowan Dennis and let's forget his name, Luke Durbridge. So Rowan Dennis and Luke Durbridge have been tying up the last few years. There's not a big entry list into it. I think most people just enter the road race the next day, a couple of days afterwards. During the weekday. So, depends on how things go. I don't enter it in January usually. I don't enter it this January, I'll enter it next January. I've got to learn how to get aero, put the power out, got to lose the stomach. Back when I was 80 kilos, it was really hard for me to ride in this position because the stomach just wouldn't let me. I think it is similar to that, the club events. Here you've got to join Oz Cycling and the club. It's probably like $15 Australian a year, 25. And then I assume you pay a little bit of money. Not sure if they close the roads. I think they just go to roads that are quiet. They just rely on you to ride like an idiot. Yeah, and also, if I get a TT bike, I can I'll bring the seat further over the bottom bracket so it opens the hip. Because I was thinking about just putting bars on my road bike. sitting further back off the bottom bracket. The annoying thing is I got 175mm and 172.5mm cranks. I've been keeping an eye out for 165s. If you think about TT bikes, you don't really need light cranks. You can just shove some FSAs or 05s or something on there. Should really be drinking and eating. The thing I'm thinking with the TTs, you don't want to lose too much weight because you lose your power. So probably would only need to lose 3 or 4 kilos at the most. If I get down to 70, almost at a disadvantage, I thought. Got the Camelback, I can put that down the front. I'm not sure what the rules are. I think we just run by UCI rules here in Australia. Definitely do for the Nationals. That's the other thing too, if I pick up a second-hand bike, I've got to make sure it's UCI compliant. How's Mike going, Jonas? Check. Bit of a split in your group. Right, as long as there's a group somewhere. These bananas are really hard to open. Got a GTX 1080 NVIDIA, I think. Let me check. Yeah, so I got a i5 8600K, 3.6 gigahertz, and then I've got, say what my video card. I'll look at that on the video. Pretty certain it's a 10 something. I'm pretty certain it's a 1080. Yeah, I think if I go to the Nationals, I've got to make sure I measure everything up a few months beforehand. Make sure I'm not running an illegal setup. That's why I'm thinking it's unlikely I'll be doing it this January. Not really that much time to source a better sell my motorbike, then pay for a frame set. Set it up. But gives me something to think about. I'll definitely be doing TT events. I think some of the TT events around here probably just as strong a field in terms of what I'm competing against. Obviously not Rowan Dennis Challenge, From what I hear, Coburg's got a really good team tile trial team. I'm not sure. Not sure how keen I am on team time trials because of the crashing aspect. I've seen that video way too often of the motor pacing guy clipping the front wheel and knocking out the entire team. Gives me, I can go 4K Ultra. It gives me the full shebang. Gives me all the full settings in terms of the automatic settings. At the moment, streaming, so the streaming's taking 20% of my CPU. CPU is running at 81%, so we've taken 60%, and my GPU is only at 55%. So plenty of headroom. Not actually watching it in 4K because it's too tight to buy a 4K TV. In reality, I don't think I really need it to be watching it. And on YouTube, everything's at 1080 at the moment, so I'll go to, I think I'm running, just turned it down. Turn it down to Ultra. If I go to, this will be, see what's now. I think maybe I'll be hitting 100% now. No, not quite 100%, sitting 86, 90%. But I think it depends on what map you do. I've noticed there's a few maps that you, like Bologna. But still, even at this resolution, it's settled down to 83%. Run that for the rest of the stream. Yeah. I usually, when I'm running by myself, run 4K and 60 frames per second. I figure when I'm streaming, I can tell the difference between this, okay, because Swift only does, or YouTube only does 1080. Swift that's it for a second. Let's see, I'm going to. Yeah, I think the dust is just not optimized that well. It used to be pretty smooth, my system, until one of the updates. Still doesn't go blocky. I think it's much more CPU dependent. I like watching if I'm riding by myself, if I go flats, I like watching the pedals turning. Side maybe, not this side. Get everyone's socks. Right, change for you. So that's a 4K Ultra and streaming. Wonder if we can see the we're getting too dark. I think the reflection turns off later on at night. I have to keep an eye on myself on the right hand bar. Make sure I'm not getting dropped. There you go, high resolution picture. I took so much footage when I was doing Lucy in the Sky around here. Trying to see that shining light. Just in the rocks. To the left, I think, but it's only on during the daytime. So actually, I think you've got just the right shot, but then ends up being dusk or early enough in the morning. Gotta stop typing while I'm in OBS. Last time I did that, it shut down OBS. Pretty screenshots. Is there a new Mac Mini out? I think I've seen it. Whitney's mum wants to upgrade her old iPad. So I've got no idea about iPads or anything, so I've been searching. You can see there's a new Mac Mini, new iPad Mini. Just a regular iPad coming out. It does look nice. I used to run Apple TV, which I've now shoved off to Whitney. When you're riding long endurance rides, it just gives you something else. Just the frame rates. One thing I do like about Macs is they keep, even if you've got a really old Mac, iPad or iPhone, they keep supporting and updating, improving it. So they are a bit more future-proof. But when this PC I got off my cousin, it was his old gaming PC. A few years old. He's a flight sim fanatic. Playing Flight Simulator in VR. So he's upgraded about a year or two ago. They can run Microsoft X. You missed out earlier, David. Seeing what people are, see if they're fasted. It freaked me out. Usually it happens when you're doing the climbs. People stand up. I remember when I saw this the first time, I was doing a effort and I was looking down, I looked up and there was some horrific face on my screen. Interesting how that graphics are set up like that. pace has really dropped off. More grey now. Yeah, that's what I was saying to Paul earlier. That when I've done these rides, I noticed that at the beginning, people are going quite fast, and then people just drop out because they don't intend to do the first or the 400. Well, I was thinking about jumping in the seas because Jonas and Mike. Then I thought, oh, I got it. He's done. No, Katie, David. Katie was supposed to. She'd signed up. Yeah. Yeah. There'll be a few splits on this climb, I think. I haven't been watching the chat. Usually there's someone going on about them being fasted. How fantastic they feel. Okay. Well, not so much that you're slower, it's just that it'd be like you entering an event do another watt per kilo less. Not really getting you the gains you want. This ride's not really about smashing out the watts, consolidating yesterday's ride. What people call a recovery ride, but it's not a recovery ride. It's just a easy zone 2. What's happening at the back? Definitely looks like there's less people. Might get you all bunched up. Get the other banana. Yeah. Couple dropping off. Right, she's easing up because I'm stretching the pack. Thanks, David. Ah, got it. If I hadn't done a bit of recon work with it, I don't think I would have done it. You have to go really hard on those climbs. Make up time and rest. I think it's no good going easier on the climbs and going harder on the flat. Your heart rate doesn't come down. You can't get the food into your stomach. I need to get my heart rate down so I can eat and get the carbs in that I needed. And on Zwift, don't really gain, not much to gain by putting more watts down on the flat. Once you're doing the 270, 280, you do go faster, but your investment is poor. Returns on investment is very poor. You get a lot more return on the hills. Yep. You say that, David. It wasn't. I mean, you said yourself you didn't eat. Like you ate. Yeah, I think you started eating too late. Once you get that deficit going. I mean, sub 4 is really hard doing it solo. I'd pretty much, well, not paced it perfectly, but I've done a lot of thinking about it. I used your effort to pace mine. Yeah. I was saying earlier on that I had 3 minutes spare on the climb out, which is quite a bit. I could have saved a bit of energy on that climb, but I didn't know exactly how much time I had, so I just went hard. But at 3 minutes is cutting it pretty fine. If I went to the toilet and came back, not much time. And luckily, because I was pushing hard on I've got the third best time up Radio Tower using the TT bike. Got my third best time up. I think. Oh, okay. But yeah, I was pushing hard on those times, banking on the fact that I could recover. So I didn't need to go to the toilet because Uber pretzel. I did the TT bike the whole way to the jungle and then swapped in the jungle and then back onto the TT bike until the Alp again, and then at the Alp I swapped over. But David did it a few weeks ago. Well, actually, because I don't think I could have done that power 2 weeks ago. Just been improving I was saying to Paul, I've been doing more threshold and sweet spot work. So that's improved that. So I don't think I could have done it. And I didn't find it easy, but I could have done more watts. But the hard bit was keeping that 270 watts going on the flat. 260. I backed it off near the end before the out to make sure my stomach could process the carbs. And then the 300 watts up the out. I used erg bait, so it was a little bit harder. Push the pedals. But I didn't trust myself. I figured if I turned ergo off, I just would have pushed out. Literally the last 3 turns was as hard as doing my 20-minute effort race the day before. I was planning on going hard on the last segment, but I actually turned the power down once I realised I was going to make it. Legs were crying. So I'll do the next Monday, Tuesday. Let's do some easy rides. Wednesday, I might do the Australian cycling race. What is it? I got my companion app, don't I? Check on Mike. Is that a group? Wednesday. Yeah, so it's 6:30 next. Well, my 6:30 on Wednesday. I got Knickerbocker. In lap. Knickerbocker. Which I'll do just because it's rare to get such a strong field. Swift at the moment besides the RL. And Thursday night, I'll try and ride with, well, pretty certain I'll do ride with WTR Aero in the WTRL team time trial, and hopefully we can get the Chileans going for Thursday morning for a team time trial practice. Stream all that. Seems like OBS has fixed itself up. You guys are on TV. Big time, David. Shane Rubin's not going to be in it. You'll have Paul, you, what's his name? Craig. Craig, who does 400 watts. Big boy. I always forget. I was paying attention last year, but not so much in terms of keeping an eye on the team, but not. A2 is on the A1 riders were a mystery to me. Mind you, the A3 riders were a mystery to me as well. Yeah, how many watts are you supposed to be doing for 3 minutes on the front this time, David? What's the course? I haven't checked. Box Hill. Your favourite kicker? What are you going to do? There's a race beforehand, David. I'll tell you that it's a group ride, not a race. Hey, Daz. We're just talking about the WTRL this Thursday, the back pedal team. One of them's in the, I don't know what it's called, but basically it's the televised one. David's going to get dropped. He's not, but he always. You're doing the WTRL this week? Daz, with your team. Your nemesis, Daz. Ruben had a crash. He did his first. I don't know if it's his first. I think it was his first real race, not first. He's done the Marmot, his first proper crit race. Riding. I think it was a uni race or something. Poor bugger. Someone else crashed in front of him. He couldn't avoid it. So he's in hospital, breaking the bottom of his pinky outside. I told him to amputate it, but he's a piano player, so probably not an option. I really want to do it TT with you guys, but it's just a terrible time in the morning for me. It's too late and too early. Do you know anything about the qualifying, Daz, in terms of if you got upgraded last BRL? Are they going to honour those upgrades? Or do they? It's the first week. Team time trial pretty much going to decide your fate. I'm just checking something I could rip David with. I hope I don't get dropped, I better watch. I'll just ask. Daz, what's your 5 minute watts per kilo with power? Questions are coming about power now. Oh, cool. Because the team that I raced for, we were in Division 3, but should be upgraded to Division 2. And the guys I race with, there's a couple of new guys who are new to Zwift. So even though they're going to be strong, our first team time trial is going to be pretty below what our par will be at the end of the series. What am I pushing? I'm moving away from the beacon. Yeah, because our guys that I'm racing with in the Southern Hemisphere, Chile is the national championships. They got a lead-up race, Daz. They got 1, 2, and 3. But the thing is, they're all doing outdoor work. Very little lift racing. 6.2. I knew I was going to be high. Come on, David, lift your game. David's been going on about 5 minute power the last few weeks. He keeps getting 5.92, 5.94. Then one of the other riders, Nick, did an outdoor ride yesterday. He got 5.94. The thing is, David, Daz runs as well. It's not just a riding his bike. I keep seeing posts on his Strava that he's done some injury. Still smashing out the watts on Zwift. Yeah, Daz is doing that on races, David. In the last 5 minutes of the race. What was the RL last season? Was it 7 rounds or 8? I thought it did go for a long time. Yeah, 400 watts for 11 minutes, David. And then you can rest the hills. Sit at the back, getting a draft. Did you watch Wahoo Nicole does the ad stream? I'm not sure what tactics do you use for team tire trialing. They seem to be using a slingshot tactic where the guy who's next in turn comes from the back. Rather than the traditional method of second end wheel taking over. So they were really fast. What's my 400 watts? Well, I did race a few weeks ago. I did 392 watts, 11 and a bit minutes. And I did a TT, a 9-minute TT at 95 or something. Uncle. I'm actually an uncle. I'm getting old. I set up the stream only a few hours ago, so I set the time. I should have known the time. Then I was sitting here. I thought, oh, I better start seeing the stream up now. Opened up the browser and saw everyone was talking on the chat already. I know that's not right for me. No, Ed Ladbrake. I realised that the race had started 5 minutes. It started 5 minutes ago. Well, I think, like, for serious, is not joking. I think David should do 30-second turns for the first half, and then increase his turns as people start dropping off. So you can negative split it. I tried to do the second team trial last season. I tried to do long pulls from the very start and blew up badly. And then we lost a rider as well. We lost Ali, so that hurt us. So on the last race, I started off doing 30-second pulls, and then as riders started blowing up, I started increasing my turn. Yeah, that's what everyone in Mick and Ruben in Backpedal got set up. That app, calculations. I haven't looked at it, but I do think it misses the effort to get back onto the group when you soft pedal so everyone gets past you. I know last time when I was doing it, I was putting a bit of power down just to get my speed back up again so that I wouldn't sticky draft the group. Yeah, but knowing David, you tell him to do 400, do 440. So, do 400 for the 30 seconds, at least for the first few rotations. Yeah, that's what our group did. We just went by feel. Because there's going to be times you don't get the draft. You pull off, and your rider decides to sit out in the middle of the road. And the calculation doesn't take that into account. So that rest is not a rest. And then all of a sudden you got to do another pull. And you're not rested. And that happens to everyone in the group. have you said, David? It's telling me you said naughty stuff. Whoops, I was out the front laughing at David. What I did, the strongest rider, this is what we did the last race, which worked out really well. The strongest rider leads out. You make sure everyone's on, but leads out for about a minute. Just to let the group settle. Make sure everyone's together. First 30 seconds, gather everyone up and go for a minute. So it's a minute and a half, but really it's a minute effort. I keep pushing forward. I feel like I'm finishing the race, making sure no one gets away. Yeah, what you said was pretty true, I think, David. Daz, do you guys have the next in line sitting, like, if it's your turn next, do you sit second wheel? David was saying that when he did a TT a while ago, the team said to sit third wheel. He's going by. Yeah, Paul. But I think just, even if it's just the first 5 minutes, just get everyone settled in. And then if you feel strong, add another 10 seconds to your pull. Because what happens? I've been watching and I've been racing. Ends up being one or two guys doing the pulls at the very end of the ride anyway. So you're going to need that in the tank. Yeah, I think the dynamics works really well in a pack. I think in terms of a single line of riders, it does seems like there's two lines. Often there's two lines formed. You've only got 5 or 6 riders. There's always going to be someone sitting out of the draft. Yeah, so you do a bit more, not so much blobbing, but you do, yeah. You've got 3 guys at the front and 2 sit behind. That's the thing about Zwift. I wish I did more team time trials with guys that I've been racing in ZRL just to see what works. Different riders. If I punch on I don't get a little gap. Because I think the blob works quite well if people aren't getting sticky ones. But I'm not a fan of the calculator. Just misses too much. Gives you an idea, but you definitely definitely doesn't take into account that kick that you need to get back on, and also the lack of draft. Don't get a draft in your rest time, you'll blow up and you're dead. I wonder why my viewership isn't very high. I talk about such interesting open. Whitney's definitely falling asleep on the couch now. I'll just I'll have to yell out Essendon to wake her up. That's what David's referring to. I mean, Paul's referring to. Just let David just ride. I'm waking her up. Well, very interesting stuff, Whitney. I was saying it's a shame that you missed out on the conversation. Yeah, the first time I rode outdoors with my mates, we actually did a proper ride, because we're all courier riders, and we're blasting between here and Geelong along the highway. About 7 of us. None of us had any idea about how to time trial. So I had to pull them up and say, look, you don't come from the back of the group and blow by everyone, because everyone has to keep surging every single time. Saying get on the front, and then when it's your turn, flick your elbow, pull to the side, so we can always roll past you. For the first 10 kilometres, I was keeping my mouth shut because I thought maybe they'd steady up. Yeah, you definitely did, David. I was watching Phil Lovett. Phil Lovett would be riding along, do his turn, and then you take over, and you need to be up the hill here. Aaron would have to pull Phil Lovett back to the group while you were soft pedaling. It was entertaining. Poor old Phil. Lucky you love suffering. At the end of that TT, you're so buzzing. We're all racing against, what was it, Finesse? Might just be that. That's your team. No, you're BL13. I think it was Finesse. Finesse had lots of diesels, and we beat them in the races, but in the TTs, they had Finesse. So, actually, no, it wasn't Finesse. They're the team that kicked our ass in the races. Who was it? And that wasn't innovation. Anyway, point being, we're getting our asses kicked in the TTs, the first 2 races, because the team knew what they were doing. They're doing less watts than us, less watts per kilo, and still beating us by a minute. So, I think, assume we use the same A1 will be Division 2, if we're in the same divisions. And then A3 is being changed to, I'm sure it's changing this too, but what used to be A3, we should be Division 2. And I think A2s might be Division 3. Yeah, probably right, Paul. You get the subs if you get the pain phase going. I think you'll be going better this time, this CRL, David, because you've been doing a lot more 2-3 minute work. Jazz is brilliant at that, as you can see, by 6.2 watts per kilo for 5 minutes. I've got a newfound respect for Phil after streaming though. One of the moments when I'm streaming and I think I've just had a Phil moment. I think I have more Phil moments than Phil does now. Daz, people were complaining about you. Not so much about you, more about complaining about WTRL placing you in Division 2. I said, yeah, Daz hates it as well. He was so pissed off when he got dropped from the highest, Cat 1, when they made Cat 0. You're spitting chips. But Daz wants to be in Cat 0. Because of that punch that you've got, WTRL still didn't capture that in its metrics. Because on Zwift courses, you're deadly. Did you watch that, Daz? The last classic, the London Classic placing. So Paul was in C0. Paul's a good rider, so he should be in C0. But then in C1, there was guys with 17 watts per kilo sprints, decent FTPs, top 20 Zwift power. Now we're in C1. I don't know who it was. I sent a message to David laughing ass off when I saw one of them. Yeah, exactly. I actually enjoyed being in C1 in the end, really, because there was bigger fields. And the competition was just as strong. Yeah. Paul, it was a bit silly, wasn't it? Because there wasn't enough races in your cat. It's like 8 or 9 guys in those races. I think, yeah, I don't know whether they just gave up a few races in with that cat selection. If you give me entertainment though, going through who was in Cat 1 and who was in Cat 0 on that last sprint race. Once they start introducing results to the placings, that's the key. Because I got 5 top 5s, but after you started winning those races, after your second win, that's it. They just go, okay, you're out, you're in Cat 0. And then if you finish the bottom third in Cat 0, they can drop you back to Cat 1. Which is what I assume they'll do in the future. Well, there's so much grey in this graph now. I'll have to change my FTP, make it look more impressive. If I change it down to There we go. Now I don't feel love it. I can't do that for very long. I'm laughing too much. One thing I noticed is that I never really thought about it was I'm trying to show you my mouse, but that's not working. I'll send a screenshot. Bit of funny. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see my mouse, but I turned the mouse capture off, but see the graph at the bottom. One thing I didn't realise as I was increasing my power, the graph gets bigger. I noticed it when I was riding with Whitney. She'd her graph is tiny. I can't even see it. She'll put in just a little strong thing. So sometimes she just puts in thread or what, no reason, just because she's trying to chase someone. The red will pop up, but it's so tiny. You can see all the riders' names at the bottom, how far it is behind. I just changed my FTP test to make it look impressive. I think my Swift says my FTP, Zert says my FTP is 360 for today. After that, bit of a pretzel yesterday. Off front. I could use chroma key, that's another trick. Let me just check. Pretty certain it's 365. I watch a 367 afterwards, but then it drops. Yes, 365 today. It was funny, I got it 362 on Swift, 362 on Zert, and 362 email from today's plan. After the 1 minute effort. Oh, you're doing the Oz cycling, Daz? Stay night? Doing the New York, what was it? I looked it up. I got a terrible memory. I was on the phone, wasn't it? Knickerbocker. $6:30, so half an hour, no, an hour earlier than the usual Aussie Hump Day ride. All the Aero boys will be in it. I shouldn't be riding it, but considering how strong the field is, I feel like I've got to ride in it. It ain't very much because the pace has been so low. it's really stretched out here actually. Yeah, where the New Zealand road team come from? I haven't really, up until WTRL, the classics, I've never seen them before. Cut your fingernails too, David. Just got to spread out. Keep an eye on the screen. I'm guessing they're going to get roused at shortly. Is it because it's the last 10 kilometres? Is there some sort of after party race? Yeah, Paul, I had so much sugar yesterday. Make sure I was carved up for that ride. Yeah, they're definitely giving Aero a shake, that's for sure. I think I'll be racing against them if I'm racing with Aero community team. I'm not racing with their premier team. I smashed and broke my tooth. Broke a few of my teeth. Had to happen. Dude, David, I had a cap on one of my teeth. I got what I was eating. But there was a nasty surprise in the food. I realised it was a cap in my tooth coming off. Fortunately, it didn't weigh very much. Yeah, Paul, I probably 20 minutes before the ride, I started eating. I was making sure I was taking around 100 grams of carbs an hour. Make sure I wouldn't bonk on the out. Averaging 382 watts or something. Got to keep that weight up, David. I ordered coffees off Whitney. She looked at me really funny. Poor. So I asked her for 60 grams of sugar. The first one she gave me, I said, "You put 60 grams in?" She's like, "Oh, I put lots of spoons in." I said, "Well, there's probably enough, but put it on the scale so I know I'm definitely taking 60 grams in." And then during the Fuego Flats, as I was heading back to do the final section through the start-finish banner, the guy talking about how he's fasted and how his ketones are off the charts. Yeah, it should be it's 5 grams a teaspoon. Downhill practice. They did have an out race where you race to the top and you go down again. Did anyone ride it? No. You need to start at the top of the out for anyone to sign up for that. I always think of Daz, if he's still in the chat, when we're doing an Aussie Hump Day ride. I got away with a Z-Power rider and someone else. Some Demon Mountain bike racer here in Australia. We had about a 10-second gap. Daz bridged across over here, putting out stupid watts. Well, the thing about ketones too, isn't it just an advantage if you're doing 7-8 hour rides or 6 hour rides day in, day out? In terms of the Grand Tour. I don't know too much about it, but I think it's just an advantage for Grand Tour riders, isn't it? You're doing 2 or 3 Zwift races a week. Or if you're just an endurance rider, I don't see the point of it. If you're an endurance rider, set a couple of bars, you're 200 watts up a hill. It's not like you're preparing for a doomsday event where there's no food. You got to ride for the street. All I know, Paul, is I just take carbs. Sugar's pretty cheap. Have I started Paul off on a ketones thing, David? Is this spending a lot of time talking about ketones on your rides? At least I know. I know now what to bring up. Besides trainer difficulty next time, add streaming. Or Phil. Next time Phil's streaming, I'm going to ask Paul to explain to us about ketones. Oh, you bought them? You are bloody strong, Paul, so maybe they got merit. Stream, I'll ask about ketones. That'll get Whitney interested. So how does this work? I joined late. Oh no, I've only got 86. I was going to say, how do I have 95.3? I think that. See, on my actual rider, I'm 86.2. At the top, I'm 94.4. That's good, isn't it? I probably shouldn't ask, but how much is that a day? How many portions? One portion is $70. Take that once. I think the vegan cyclists were banging on about ketones, wasn't it? $10 years. Yeah. So we go up the volcano. $70 for one portion. Just be cheaper to get a cane or something. Here in Melbourne, one of the footballers' ex-wives, like a wag, she got not allowed to have visitors to the house because of lockdown. She got busted because one of her visitors to the house, while they're having a party of about 4 or 5 of them, took a video of this influencer snorting cocaine. And she did it off an Audi or a IKEA dinner plate worth $2. So she basically got flack for using a $2 plate. but her friend was supposed to send the video to her sister. She accidentally posted it to social media. So if you see guys talking about Bartel in the Aussie time slots, that's what they're on about. But the best bit was the fact that she was doing it off such a cheap plate. Well, they were on cocaine, so I don't know what you do when you're on cocaine. Pretty much the definition of are you on drugs? And they're all 30-year-old glamour wannabes with their Insta accounts linked to their phone, probably pressing that the very first thing they do, they open their phone. It's a bit like the Paris Hilton sex video though, in terms of she's lost a lot of endorsements, but I didn't even know about her until it happened. And so the reality is, in 6 months' time, she'll probably be better positioned. That was a funny bit. Like wasn't surprised at taking cocaine, but just the Aussies just giving a crap for using a $2 plate. What distance does it show? It shows 98.5 at the top. Surely so I can give you 98.5. 89.5. Is that? I think they'll probably have her on a sale at some stage. Yeah, it shows them 1 kilometre to go, Paul, but it gives me 98.9 at the top. I'm guessing that's the new events graph. I'm sure it didn't used to say that. Maybe I never paid attention. Definitely not doing a sprint, if there is a sprint. Press the arrow. Make everyone think I'm going off the front early. I'm going to turn right too, hopefully. Get these last couple of kilometres out of the way. Downhill. Not going to bother doing the 100. Ah, quick. Ah, too late. Oh, well, I'll roll to the desert. Yeah, so now it shows 91.1 at the top. Thanks, Daz. I did the epic, was it Uber Pretzel yesterday under 4 hours solo so this is good. Good for the legs. Yeah, I joined late. I had set up the stream and everything a few hours ago now. Then I dropped over to the bike, opened it up, realised that the ride had started 5 minutes before that. I had planned to start late because I didn't want to go through the process of having that silly start. Everyone was worried about being dropped. Yeah, that's why I'm not caring about the 100 kilometres. Mind you, I stopped caring about doing 100 kilometres a long time ago. I'll do the WTRL events, and then I'll take the weekend off pretty much. Take Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even Monday off. Let everything sink in a bit before ZRL. It's now almost 7 o'clock, 3 minutes to 7. I'll get the 100 kilometres done if I keep talking, David. Shall I do my 6 watts per kilo for 5 minutes? Yeah? Right, and go up the hill. Why aren't you riding, David? I'm not going to ask Daz because Daz got a bloody massive run, tomorrow? Or Wednesday? Something. I remember reading about it, but I forget things very quickly. Yeah, I'll get the 200 done, David. Paul got there before me, really. I'll just keep going for 24 hours. You're planning to take a rest before, or are you just going to keep smashing it, David? I shouldn't be asking about plans, should I? But you got a new coach now. You got David doing the next up until ZRL. You gotta at least have one different, extra hard. I think tomorrow you should go do Nick's course that he's designed for you. Just do it this afternoon. How at the times when are they racing up Pollock Hill Climb? Is it a weird English thing where they do the hill climb in afternoon, evening? I saw Top Cat posted pretty cool pictures of the hill climb at time. Vegan, they're talking about Egan Bernal. Could be this chat. correctly. It ain't Egan Bernal, but someone else was just his name. Point 0.9. I would have thought all five showed 5.9 and one of them says dropped. Who was the massive event that beat Ed, the guy that beat Ed? Who is he? What's the backstory in that? Sounds like is he a local rider to you guys, or is he just kicked your ass in Zwift? The guy that we had in our ZRL league last year was that, hey, what's his name? Chuddick? Something Chuddick. Guy that was racing against Ed a couple of races ago. Joseph Chuddick? Anyway, he was in Premier League though. And then the next league, the next event, he was in our Division 3. Ripping our legs off. You missed a lot, Whitney. Been discussing philosophy, mathematics, we sort of discussed the law, I suppose. Chemistry. When I ride for a long time, I get one spot shoe on the ball on my foot. Too bad considering how many hours I've done. That was very interesting. I enjoyed that talk. I should put on a podcast. Maybe I can invite my sister on. Should ask Whitney. Whitney, do you know what my sister actually's got a PhD in? Because I always forget when she tells me. I don't think Whitney's listening like she is. Something else I might get at. Do you know Whitney? Yeah, you should watch the replay. It's well worth it. I might have to put it down to half speed because of how much content I've got. So, you know what Rose's PhD is in, Whitney? Should look it up. Should put it on Google. Yep, found her. You know you made it when you do Google at the very top of the page. So she's a postdoctoral researcher in data management and analysis. For the Meta Lab Research Group, City of Melbourne. Got 506 citations, 11 H index and 11 by 10 index. I've got no idea what that means, but it sounds impressive. All I know is that if I Google me, it's probably just got a picture of me stuffing up and doing 2 laps, sprinting 2 laps for a 3-lap race. Don't worry, it's gone quiet in my head too when I read all that. I'll ask her about ketones. I got 2.5 kilometers, and then my coach can tell me I can stop there. Our partners in Canada. Yeah. I think probably out smashing another KOM somewhere. There are partners in Canada because of the coronavirus things, restrictions. She's been stuck. He can't come here, she can't go there. But he's also does something which I've got no idea what he does. But it's involved in, I think he specialises in reptiles or something. Hey Theo, how'd your race go the other day? You always come into my streams. The end. '15th. That's a really good position actually, as we were talking about last time. You didn't get dropped. You didn't win the race. Good hard effort. Did you struggle with the downhills with your weight? Being a little light fella? You're in Cat B now. Oh, the suffering is going to be hard. Let's try these one more time. A complete failure with these. You probably ask Theo. Yeah, so Bluetooth. Devices, Bluetooth. Power meters are showing up, but not the Bluetooth. Give it a go later. Yeah, we all want to stay and see Theo. You should have seen the moaning and complaining during the classics WTRL. Place here you see the top cats, or even the lower cats. 400 meters to go. The other thing is, Theo, you're young. You don't even have to train and you'll get faster. Poor people like me and David, we get slower and slower as we get older. Should drink a little bit of my How much do you weigh, Theo? Just making sure I don't enter the Alp event when you do it at the same time. $35. So that's where Zwift falls down in terms of if they just had a group only for kids, that'd be great for you. But Zwift doesn't really deal with such lightweight riders so well, so you'll learn a lot racing. But you'll find that it's very difficult going down hills or even on flats sometimes. But just don't worry about the results, just have fun. You don't have to worry about training so much at your age because there's no point getting too serious about training at that age. Your FTP, just in the next 6 months, your FTP is going to improve more than I can improve my FTP for the rest of my life, I'm guessing. Let's have a look at the graph. $20 minutes, 2:53. Should really fill in this power distribution. Colours. Such an oversight. $221 average, 25 TSS. $128. I never do 121 average heart rate. Scary photos that we got. I'll click in because I've got to go back into it later. Good work. You guys weren't too far behind in the end, I think, because our group slowed up a lot. I was going to say if Mike's finished, but I might as well ask you. So Mike finished up as well? No worries, David. Oh, my camera's come out. When did my camera stop? But it just stopped this before. Turn it down now. Yeah, exactly. Sitting on the trainer. I'm sitting on the trainer all the time, so I'm used to it. But I remember just how hard it is just pedaling for that long without stopping a course like this. Yeah, look at my graph. It's drops off so much. Just disappears. Doing 160. This is after my ride, wasn't it? So doing pretty low numbers considering the beginning. I think that's after the. My camera's going, so I think that's a sign I should go. I didn't even notice. I don't think I'm 50 kilometers, David. I've been 70. Anyway, I better go. Get my arm. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, thanks for riding with me, Paul, and telling me what's going on. See you next ride. Good luck on the WTRL. I've got nothing else to say. I've got nothing more to say. Like what Phil always says. It's weird without my camera. It feels like I'm not really talking to you. All right, better go before I ramble on. Catch you all later.